Hey, what's up, Evil Piz out here? And today I want to talk to you guys about the film Oculus, which I had the opportunity to check out today. This is another one I'm showing up a little late to the party for, but I'm kind of glad that I am showing up late to the party for Oculus. When I first saw the trailers, I thought the movie looked fairly decent, if not sort of a routine spook house movie, which is what I call kind of, the haunted house kind of movies. Insidious. Insidious, of course, was a huge hit. And as Hollywood does, if one thing works, we're going to do that thing 15 times in a row until people are no longer interested, and then we'll move on. And that's kind of what I thought the trailer for Oculus more or less looked like. It got some fairly good reviews in the beginning. Stephen King called it deeply terrifying. I missed it on opening weekend, and then it just kind of, I didn't hear anything about it. Nobody was really talking about it on Facebook or Twitter, and I didn't really know quite what to make of that. So I finally went in on a late matinee, and I'm kind of glad that I didn't really read up about the movie. I didn't read reviews. I didn't see people talking about it in social media, because the movie itself is actually a little bit different than what the trailer would make you believe. And what I actually think Oculus is a pretty smart and actually a more sort of, a deeper kind of horror film. But I'll get to all that momentarily. The plot revolves around, instead of a haunted house, we have a haunted mirror. And this haunted mirror has just hundreds of years worth of just bloody history. Everybody who's ever owned it, who've put it up in their homes or in their businesses, have just met a very, very, very grisly end. And the mirror comes into the possession of a software engineer, his wife, and their two young offspring, young daughter and young son. And not long after the mirror is in their home, a lot of bad stuff starts to happen. And the first thing that's really cool about Oculus is it's almost got the structure of like an Asian horror film. As you know, a lot of Asian horror films are haunted house movies or movies that involve spirits. And I really enjoyed the fact that the movie really jumped around a lot, but it didn't seem confused. Like, we jumped back and forth between, like, the story really focuses on the young daughter and the young son of the couple, and they flash forward. They go back and forth between the traumatic incidents of their childhood that took their mother and father, and 11 years later, both of them as adults, and how they're dealing with that, and how they're going to try, and especially on the daughter's point of view, to like get revenge. And she staged this just really this really far out kind of way, not only to capture, to prove to the world that this mirror is completely evil, but to ultimately destroy it, to get revenge against a mirror. And what I thought was really cool was how it shifted back and forth. You were kind of seeing both storylines, take shape and arc, really sort of simultaneously. And they handled that really, really well. And it could have very, very easily become just really confused and you not know, where you're at in the movie. But they didn't. Now, there's also the great opportunity for the film to be even far more confusing, because the mirror, it plays tricks with your mind. So you're constantly unaware of, is this really happening, or is this an illusion created by the mirror to kind of trick you or trap you, to really play a mind game with you. So the scares in the film, although there are a few boo scares toward the beginning of the film, and I was a little trepidatious at the beginning of the film, because they were setting up a lot of boo scares. I was thinking, oh God, is this just going to be another, cat jumping out of the closet every 5 minute kind of boo scare movie? But then they really shifted gears into the horror of, not being in control of yourself, not knowing what is fantasy from reality, a much deeper, a more deep-seated kind of fear, and they handle it really, really well. I did not find it confusing at all. I actually really enjoyed the fact of guessing, is this is this real or is this just an illusion from the mirror? And watching the mirror, it's really weird because the mirror really takes on a character of its own, a really ominous, dark, but at the same time almost diabolically playful kind of character. The way that it plays and manipulates these two characters inside this house, I really enjoyed that. There's also, and I may be reading way too deep into this, but there's some really great dialogue in the film between the daughter and son, the adult daughter and son, and they're talking about, you know, evil, and it's really the evil. The question in the film is the evil that's taking place in the film, is it because of an evil spirit, some sort of evil entity, or is it due to inner demons? Is it a product of mental health problems? Is it a product of a history of mental health problems that is transferred on from the parents to the children? And I thought that was really, really interesting and really well written and really well acted. And you sort of, there was that struggle, and almost, you know, you have the skeptic and the believer, and they're talking it out, and really, there's really no resolution, because even at the end of the film, you could argue, well, was it internal demons or was it external demons? You know, so I really found that quite interesting, and that is something you do not get in very many horror movies, really very many movies, period. But it was definitely, it was making me think outside the box. It was making me think and enjoy the movie on really a multitude of levels. And I really have to hand it to the writer of the film, the director of the film, the actors. Everything about the film just worked for me. Like I said, it's a much deeper sort of scary movie than just the, you know, the visceral, oh, there's a specter in the corner, you know, something like that, you know, oh, you know, boo scare, oh, I'm looking this way and then you hit me that way with, you know, something scary. It went much deeper than that, I thought, and a more deep-seated fear, like I said, a more deeply rooted fear, the fear of not being in control, the fear of not knowing fantasy from reality, the fear of just being ultimately torn, and of course of reliving the past. I mean, that was the whole thing. And I was reading probably far deeper into this film than anybody probably should. I don't know why. I was just in sort of a cathartic period at this time. But I think it was also kind of telling that the antagonist in the film is a mirror. And of course, in the mirror, you're looking at yourself. It's you in the mirror. So it's you are your own worst enemy. Actually, at one point in the film, a character says, I've seen my demons, and there are many. And he goes, I've seen the devil, and he is me. And I read that into, you know, you are your own worst enemy. You are, you know, it's in salvation or damnation is in your own hands. You know, you can be your own worst enemy. And yeah, so I don't know. I really enjoyed the film. I highly recommend it. If you guys have seen Oculus, please let me know what you think of it in the comments section below. I really think it's a really interesting movie, a movie with just a multitude of levels going on that you can definitely think about and talk about afterwards, which, again, there's not a lot of movies, you know, for me personally, you know, to walk out of and want to talk about, or really to want to think about beyond just, you know, watching the movie itself. So I was really very pleasantly surprised with Oculus. I highly recommend it. The ending is a little, I don't know, the ending could maybe turn some people off because it's kind of a, it seems kind of an abrupt ending. It's kind of a downer ending, which neither one necessarily bothered me at all. Yeah, overall I really enjoyed Oculus. I highly recommend it. I think you guys should go out there and check it out. If you've seen the film, please let me know what you think of it in the comment section below. And until next time, you guys take it easy. Peace.